Hello, my friends, and welcome back to English 5 Days. I want to start today by asking you a simple but important question. Do you brush your teeth once a year for 5 hours straight? Of course not. That would be exhausting, impractical, and frankly, a bit scary. Instead, what do? We brush them every single day, just a little, maybe 2 minutes at a time, yet consistently, without fail. This daily habit keeps our teeth clean, healthy, and strong over the years. Learning English works in exactly the same way. It's not about a sudden, exhausting marathon of study. It's about steady, consistent practice. Just like brushing your teeth, small, regular actions add up to massive results over time. You don't need to study for 5 hours in a single day to see improvement. In fact, it's far more effective to study a little bit every day. That's the power of consistency. So, what exactly does consistent mean? It means showing up, doing something again and again, not only when you feel motivated, but even when it's inconvenient, or when you'd rather be doing something else. Consistency is about making your practice a regular, non-negotiable part of your day. And that's exactly what today's episode is about. How small daily practice sessions can completely transform the way you speak English. By the end of this lesson, you'll understand why daily repetition is more powerful than occasional intensive study and how you can implement this approach immediately. Why is daily consistent practice so crucial? Let's break it down. First, your brain thrives on repetition. Every time you hear or use a sentence multiple times, your brain stores it, making it easier to recall in the future. This is why hearing a phrase over and over again gradually imprints it in your memory. Second, practice makes speaking automatic. At first, English may feel slow and awkward. You stop mid-sentence, think about the translation, and carefully choose each word. But with daily practice, your mouth and brain begin to synchronize. The words start to flow naturally, and you begin to speak faster and with greater freedom. Third, consistent practice builds confidence. Confidence isn't something that magically appears overnight. It grows little by little, day by day. Each time you practice English, even for a few minutes, you prove to yourself that you can do it, and your self-belief strengthens. Let's pause and remember one crucial principle. A little every day is far more effective than a huge effort once a month. This is the essence of consistent practice. It's the key to gradual, lasting transformation. You don't need long, exhausting study sessions to improve. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day can set you on the path to fluency, as long as you make it a daily habit. You might be thinking, okay, Tom, I get that daily practice is important, but what should I actually do in those 15 minutes? Let me give you 5 simple practical activities. You can choose 1, combine 2, or even do all 5 if you feel motivated. The goal is to create a manageable routine that keeps you engaged without feeling overwhelming. The first activity is listening to English. Listening is fundamental. You can start with a short podcast or audio designed for English learners, whether it's a story, a brief talk, or a snippet of everyday conversation. Don't worry about understanding every single word. The goal is exposure, familiarity, and the gentle training of your ear. Try to catch a few words here and there, even if the full meaning escapes you at first. You can listen while walking, cooking, or even making tea. The important part is simply that you listen, regularly and intentionally. The second activity is shadowing short sentences. Shadowing is an incredibly effective technique where you listen to a sentence and speak along with it simultaneously, almost like an echo, copying the speaker exactly. This method improves pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation while helping you internalize natural speech patterns. On this channel, we have multiple episodes specifically designed for shadowing practice. Start with short, simple sentences. For example, I'm going to the shop. Repeat it aloud with me. I'm going to the shop. Do it again and again and soon saying it will feel effortless. By imitating native speakers, your brain and mouth learn how English naturally flows, and you begin to speak more fluently without overthinking. The third practice is reading. Choose a short story, a brief news article, or a simple passage that interests you. Read slowly and mindfully. When you encounter a new word, try to guess its meaning from context. If it's difficult, look it up, but don't get stuck. The goal is to enjoy reading while expanding your vocabulary and noticing sentence structures. Reading provides a visual context for the words and phrases you hear in audio or conversation, helping you remember them more effectively. The fourth activity is writing. Writing even a single paragraph in English each day can have a profound impact. You don't need to compose essays. Just 3 to 5 sentences are enough. Write about your day, what you did, what you saw, or what you plan to do tomorrow. For example, today I went to the park. I saw my friend. We had coffee. It was sunny. This simple exercise reinforces grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure while helping you articulate your thoughts in English. Writing regularly creates a bridge between understanding and expressing ideas fluently. Finally, talk to yourself out loud. Speaking to yourself in English may feel a bit strange at first, but it's incredibly effective. Describe what you're doing. I'm making breakfast. I'm putting on my shoes. I'm going to work. This practice helps you think in English rather than translating from your native language. It's private, low pressure, and incredibly empowering. By speaking aloud daily, you gradually become more comfortable forming sentences on the spot, which is essential for real-life conversation. After you practice using one or more of these methods, you might wonder, will I suddenly speak like a native? Not immediately. But something meaningful does happen. Let's break it down. After one day of practice, you'll feel accomplished, knowing you've taken action. Perhaps you learn a new word or understand a short sentence better. Even small achievements, like recognizing that, "How's it going?" simply means, "How are you?" represent real, tangible progress. Each small step is a building block toward fluency. After you've taken those small, consistent steps for a week, something remarkable begins to happen. 7 days may seem like a short period, but in terms of building habits and training your brain, it is transformative. Each day, as you listen to English, read a short passage, write a few sentences, or speak aloud, your brain starts to adjust. It becomes more comfortable with the language, and you begin to internalize patterns and phrases that once seemed foreign or difficult. You may notice that you stop translating every single word in your head and start understanding meaning directly from context. This is a subtle but critical stage of learning. For example, you might encounter a phrase like, "I'm heading to the store." Perhaps you haven't memorized this exact sentence before, yet by using context clues and your developing intuition, you grasp its meaning. Each small, correct guess builds confidence and strengthens your ability to learn independently, a skill that will serve you for the rest of your English journey. Mistakes may happen along the way, and that is perfectly natural. Each error is an opportunity to learn, to refine your understanding, and to reinforce the process of thinking in English rather than translating from your native language. As you continue into a full month of daily practice, the changes become even more tangible. By this stage, English begins to feel familiar, almost like a friend you visit regularly. Words and phrases you once struggled to recall now flow more freely, and your ability to understand spoken English improves significantly. You may find that you speak slightly faster, requiring less effort to form sentences, and you glance at your dictionary less often because your vocabulary is expanding naturally. Confidence becomes a central part of your experience. Initially, speaking, writing, or even thinking in English may feel intimidating. You may have feared making mistakes or sounding foolish. But with daily practice, this fear diminishes. Every sentence you form, every paragraph you write, every conversation you engage in, even if only with yourself, reinforces your belief in your capabilities. You start to think, I am learning, I am improving, and I can communicate in English. This confidence is not instantaneous. It develops gradually, growing quietly but surely, like a plant nurtured day after day until one morning you realize it has flourished. To make this journey smoother and more structured, practical tools can help you maintain your momentum. One of the most effective strategies is to use a calendar or checklist to track your progress. A simple table marking each day's activity, listening to a podcast, reading a story, shadowing sentences, or writing, creates a visual representation of your commitment and progress. This small act of recording achievements can be profoundly motivating, reminding you of how far you have come and encouraging you to keep going even when motivation wanes. Another key strategy is time management. It is easy to convince ourselves that we are too busy, yet we almost always have 10 to 15 minutes to dedicate to consistent practice. By setting a timer, you remove the mental burden of wondering how long to practice and allow yourself a focused, manageable session. Often starting with just 10 minutes creates momentum, and you may find yourself extending your practice naturally once you are engaged. Consistency is further reinforced by establishing a routine, practicing at the same time every day. This could be in the morning before your day begins, during a lunch break, in the evening, or even while commuting. Choosing a predictable time allows English to become an integrated habit, as automatic as brushing your teeth or making your morning coffee. Routine removes the friction of decision-making, allowing your practice to flow seamlessly into daily life. Equally important is to make practice enjoyable. The activities you select should spark interest and curiosity. If you love cooking, read recipes in English. If travel excites you, watch short videos or read articles about destinations. If music brings you joy, sing songs in English. Enjoyable practice is sustainable practice, and by pairing learning with pleasure, you create a positive reinforcement loop that makes returning to English each day something you look forward to rather than a chore. Finally, preparation and accessibility are essential. Keep your learning tools within reach. A favorite podcast bookmarked, a short story ready to read, a notebook and pen at hand. When everything is easy to access, there is no excuse to delay, and starting each session becomes effortless. Consistency, like nurturing a young tree, requires patience, diligence, and care. The early days may show little visible change, yet with every small effort, roots grow, branches strengthen, and leaves begin to flourish. One day, when you look back, the growth is undeniable. English is no longer a distant skill, but a living, breathing part of your daily life. The ability to express yourself, understand spoken and written words, and engage with the language becomes second nature, the product of persistent, thoughtful practice rather than sudden, overwhelming effort. So, my friends, remember this: improvement in English is not about the hours you cram in one day. It's about the small, deliberate actions repeated day after day. Celebrate each tiny victory: one word learned, one sentence understood, one thought expressed, and allow these moments to accumulate into mastery. Each day of listening, reading, writing, and speaking contributes to a growing confidence that will carry you far beyond what you imagined possible. Keep a calendar, set your timer, follow your routine, and choose activities that inspire you. Like planting a tree, the process requires patience, but the result is beautiful, enduring, and rewarding. Keep practicing, keep believing, and trust in the power of small, consistent steps. You are building not just your English skills, but also your self-confidence and your ability to learn and grow. This is your journey, and every effort counts. I'm Tom, and this has been English 5 Days. Keep moving forward, keep practicing, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.